All right. What is up? Eighth grade. Okay. So sorry I couldn't make it to your guys's weekly sessions this week because of teacher conference. So I thought I'd make a quick video for this week's lesson. Okay. So this week, I'd like to focus a little bit on making wise decisions. Why making wise decisions? Well, you guys are getting older, and before you know it, you're going to start high school soon. So it's a good topic to kind of start playing around with, right? So let's go on with these slides here. Okay, so what we're going to actually take from this lesson is identifying two types of decisions, right? So we make many decisions in our lives, but this particular lesson will go ahead and identify a routine and a major decision, okay? And then hopefully within this lesson you guys can learn some of the steps in making these two types of decisions and then explore a little bit of your future self. So there are two types of decisions. And these two types of decisions do essentially affect a person's life, right? So the first one that they'll talk about is a routine decision and a major decision. Okay. So unfortunately, if I did this lesson with you guys live, then you'd be able to go ahead and choose um, like which elective. Actually, hold on. Okay, sorry. So below here, it's going to ask us to which elective. So what are electives? When you get to high school or college, you get to choose electives. Okay, so right here in this area, we have finance, foreign language, music, technology. Okay. Unfortunately, you guys are just watching this video. So to kind of, it just what it's trying to tell us is depending on which class you choose, it could affect your routine later on in your life. Okay. Let's explore more of that. So, is selecting an elective major a routine decision? Give one reason. Now, let's think about it. Of course, you guys can give me your answers now. But if you can choose, I know we haven't learned too much about the major or the routine decision, but if you can guess, what do you think it would be? Okay. So, this is what a routine decision is. Okay. It's made day to day, may become from habits. It does not require a lot of time and thought through, right? So, a routine decision, this is a great example. Waking up every morning and brushing your teeth, that's a decision that is made by a routine decision. Okay. Waking up every morning and making yourself breakfast, right? You're thinking about these things unconsciously and you're just doing them because they're a part of your daily routine. Okay. So, again, think about some of the routines, decisions that you have made today. Okay. What are some of the things that you do on the regular without even thinking? It just kind of comes natural. Think about those. Those are your routine decisions. Okay. So, now a major decision is something that would affect long term, right? So, example, in middle school, some of you choose to do your homework every day, right? That's a major decision. Like, I'm doing my homework every day. Why are we doing our homework every day? Because it might have a long term effect on us, right? It might give us good grades. It leads to being successful, not only in high school, but in the future. You start to create discipline, right? That's an example of a major decision. Choosing to do certain things that will line you up for a successful future. They should also be made very carefully. So this is more as you guys are getting older. We think about like doing wrong things. So like think about um, like the law. Why we go and follow rules. We follow rules. There are rules in place, right? And if we break those rules, what would our future look like? Those are major decisions. If we decide to break the law, um, then that is something that would set us up for failure, right? It's a good example to think about. And some, like I said before, some of our major decisions, they lead us to graduation, heading to college, into a successful career. And that's why it's important to start thinking about these two types of decisions that we make in life. Okay. What's a major decision you have seen your family make in the last year? Okay, so also this, if we were doing this live, it would be an interactive one, but just take a moment to think about some sacrifices or things that your family do to make a major decision this past year. I know the pandemic has been huge for a lot of us, so I'm sure that there are a lot of examples that you guys could come up with. So this is a great one, and you guys can relate to this as well. Financial decisions. So a major decision, it includes financial decisions because they impact an individual's family or well-being. So this is something that you guys can start thinking about too, is financial decisions. That is also a major decision in how you spend your money. Do you spend it wisely or do you spend it foolishly? See, so in the next one here, what was the major decision you watched your family make a financial decision? So a lot of us, you may say, I'm not sure what that really means still. Yes, I've seen my family sacrifice so that they can pay their bills and their rent. So a major decision would be your parents going to work every day to provide, not being able to help in the household during a pandemic and help with your guys' distant learning. A lot of parents had to sacrifice and go out to work and be an essential worker every day. Okay. So that is your family choosing to make a financial decision. A decision making process. Okay. So this is kind of the steps that you would take. So you kind of identify the problem or choice. Okay. And then you list these alternatives, which means different lists like pros and cons of making this decision. Okay. Or other routes that you might take in deciding to make a wise decision. And then 3, you decide. And then 4, you evaluate your results and what kind of ways out. Is it a decision that will benefit you? Is it a decision that will hinder you? Okay. So because this is more interactive, I'm going to skip some of these slides because we are not doing any of these together. Well, actually, this could have been a good one. So, and I'll just kind of briefly go over one of the scenarios real quick. So Ryan, so he's received $150 for his birthday. Okay. So now he has to make a decision on how he's going to spend his money, right? So in the scenario, it talks about how he can save his money in a savings account, how he can buy his best friend a birthday present, or he can have some money left over to spend in the weekend, or should he buy a new game? Now, how about you guys take a minute and just think about that? What would you do with your money? Would you be smart and save it for later? Would you go off and buy a new game? Would you use it to spend on a friend and then have some to spend for the weekend? Okay. Now, a major decision would be what would make sense for Ryan, right? So opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative that must be given up. Okay. So depending on how Ryan chooses to spend his money. Now, if he goes any of those avenues, right, he had 3 major decisions to choose from. Okay. And each of those decisions can lead to something different. Okay. So the benefits of a decision-making process, which all of us should start taking steps towards and using, because it does, it improves the quality of life at any age, which is why I'm introducing this topic to you guys, because middle school, you guys are young adults, you're growing up, you're going to transition into high school pretty soon. So this is something that you guys should start having on your mind and how you make decisions for your future. Okay. And also, it's a better use of your resources. Okay. Like whether it's with money, energy, emotion, and so much more beyond that. Okay. It will positively improve your future. Okay. So you'll skip that because that's more of an interactive one. Okay. So this one kind of comes towards the end of our decision making, but it's just kind of something to think about. Are you making routine decisions where you're kind of just going through life, or are you constantly thinking about decisions that, you know, that won't affect you now because you're like, well, I'm in middle school and I don't really need to think about these things. Okay. So this is a topic that I want you guys to kind of start brainstorming in your head. Everything you do is a major decision. It could be a major decision or it could be a routine decision. So I want you guys to start having more sense of what is a good, wise decision to make. And think about those decisions and how they'll affect you. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you after spring break. I hope you guys have an amazing spring break. Hopefully, you guys make wise decisions. And I'll see you after the break. Hope you guys have a good one.